The Alpha Sessions.
Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Alpha Sessions. Today I have Gigi Harland and Diggs. Welcome.
Hello.
How are you both? You good?
Good.
How are you feeling?
Good.
So tell me all about your beginnings in music. Where are you from?
I'm from Hereford originally, so just on the Welsh border. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you moved to London recently or a long time
No,
ago?
so I moved to London after college because I kind of did music college in Hereford and then just wanted any excuse
to escape.
Yeah, well, I loved. It's a really cool place to grow up. It's very beautiful, but I think if you want to, I don't know. I was just hungry for experiences and adventure, so I wanted to escape.
Yeah, not much of a music scene.
Yeah, no, do you know what? There was actually a really good one. It was like, there's loads of pubs, there was gigs like every weekend. All of your mates in college used to be in bands, so it was actually quite a good little scene like when I was there. But yeah, I just wanted an adventure really.
So how did you first enter the music scene? Was it a family thing? Was it all just you heard a song one day and you're like, this is what I want to do?
Yeah,
how did it come about?
Did I? I've always written. I wrote poetry from like a really young age. My parents had a pub, so from the age of about 7, I was on my own quite a bit. And we had a little piano in the back room. I just used to kind of play that, and then at some point I figured out you could sort of put the two things together. And I just did that just to not thinking about it at all as like a career or anything. It was just like fun thing to do, and then it
it's
just went from there.
An instinctual thing, I
guess. Yeah.
So you've recently released a single, 20 something.
Yeah.
Was that this year?
Yeah, it was, right? In March.
But that was your first one. But I feel you've been doing music before long.
Yeah, so I've written for other people for quite a while, mainly like dance top lines and things.
Yeah.
And I'd just be like a ghostwriter, so there's stuff floating around out there with my voice on it, but not my name on it, which I quite like because it just gave me a chance to try loads of different things and see what I suited and what I didn't. But I always knew I had songs of my own written, but I never was quite sure what to do with them. I think, I don't know if you've had this, but when you're writing for other people, it's kind of easy to sort of lose your own voice a bit. And then lockdown happened, and obviously everything kind of ground to a halt for a lot of people in music, and I just had more space and a bit more time to just focus on what I wanted to do. And I also was coming out of a relationship at that point, so I had stuck in a room post breakup, so it was like right time for it to happen. So
how did you get into ghostwriting and top lining as like your moneymaker? Is that what you were doing for a living?
Yes.
Wow. How did that begin?
It's like, it was to a couple of people that I knew from Hereford, actually. So the first one was a guy that I knew in Hereford that came to London, and he was doing sessions here while I was like 17 or 18 at the time, and he just had artists that he was working with, and we were kind of doing bits together as well. And then he just said, you should come up to London and do some sessions, and it just went from there. Like from every other session I would meet people and just... Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to explain how they say it. It's really annoying because I always want people to say in detail how this works when I watch people talk that I love, but it's a weird thing.
It kind of happens without you realising a lot of this stuff, doesn't it? It's like a gradual development, and then you find yourself somewhere, and like it always happens. Somebody asks you how you got there, and you'll be like, I don't know.
Yeah, I wish I had a better answer. But yeah, I think it's just making friends, really.
Yeah. Networking.
Yeah,
it's a good network. Do you find London is the perfect hub for that? Because some people come here, I think, from the country or outside, even the suburbs, and they think this is like the place, and there's all the activity in this hub. But some people find it too much, and it's like there's too many people trying to do it. So how does the London music scene feel for you?
Like, it feels... First of all, it's different now to how it was when I first got here, which makes me sound completely ancient. But it's there are a lot of really amazing people. Actually, if you do like open mics and you actually go to gigs, that kind of seems like where people are the most open. But I feel like, and if you're doing the whole online thing, it becomes so much about like sending people emails and just getting in people's DMs or whatever. And it seems like sometimes people are quite sort of protective, or people don't really want to share ideas and things because they're like, oh, you might nick it. But if you actually go to gigs and get to know people, it's still pretty good.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are defensive in that way. especially in London, which is weird, but I think it's because there are so many people around. But as I guess working in rooms, writing with other people, you get used to just working off each other. So when you wrote 20 something, was that completely on your own, sitting in a room, like you say, in lockdown? Was that a lockdown little personal project?
Pretty much. So just before lockdown, I was in London, and I was starting to feel, getting to the kind of late 20s, panic. Whereas you're just like, oh God, like you just start to just have a bit of anxiety about you're like, I don't think I've chosen the wrong path, because this feels like the most instinctual thing ever. But I guess it's just coming to terms with my creativity being a different thing to what I thought it was going to be initially, like just having a different relationship with it. But 20 something was kind of the song that I wrote as a step to getting me to that point, I think, which is just I think sometimes you just have to accept the fact that you're having a little bit of a wig out. And once you do that, it's like you leave the space for the new, like your new part of your process to come in. Yeah.
When you say like your creativity turned out different, or you feel weird about it, what do you mean by that? Like you expected to be a different kind of musician or artist?
Yeah, well, I think like a lot of people, I just put so much pressure on like one definition of success, which was like, you know, I'm gonna go to London, make music, get signed. It was a very like, and there's no blueprint for being in the music industry. It's not like being a doctor or a lawyer. If you do steps 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, sooner or later you're going to become this. It's like there's no blueprint. It's kind of the Wild West. There's so many ways to do it, and I just kind of thought I was going to have this one track way of doing it. And then it's actually through lockdown as well, I read a book called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, which if you are a creative in any lane, whether it's music or like painting, filmmaking, whatever, read it, or get the audiobook if you're not a reader, because the way she explains it's probably going to sound a bit airy-fairy, so
go for it.
But I'm for that. I'm all for that. I'm a bit of a hippie at heart. So she explains creativity as kind of along the same bones as how they used to think about it in ancient Rome. And in ancient Rome, you know, they had gods and goddesses for different elements in different areas of life, and artists used to have these kind of invisible spirits that used to kind of live in the walls of your studio, and they used to call those spirits a genius. So it wasn't that you were a genius, you had a genius. And then if you were working, if your work was terrible, couldn't be entirely you to blame, because like your genius just wasn't playing ball that time. And if your work was amazing, it stopped you becoming like a raging narcissist. So it basically means your ego could survive its own failure or its own success, and it just creates this bit of distance between you and the work. And then sooner or later down the road, they started to call the human the genius, and the human was like the center of all inspiration, and there's no room for gods or mysteries or anything like that. And like we've been losing people at an alarming rate because of the mental health pressures like ever since. And I mean, I had no expectations. Like, there was no one waiting for my stuff to come out, but just the pressure alone that I lumped on myself, I kind of made myself feel like there was. And then as soon as I read that book, it was just like game changer. I was like, what if I think about this thing as something that like comes from outside, and it can be about your experiences, but from some other place. And it made the whole situation so much less stressful to deal with. There's something that's actually supposed to be, which is something that's innate and like enjoyable, and that feeds you rather than takes from you. So yeah,
it's a very healthy way of sort of balancing everything out, your expectations, success, because it is true a lot of people get quite obsessed with success sometimes, but not even knowing what success is. So looking back on your release of 20 something with that in mind, do you feel at peace with it, and how, like, the way it played out, how many listens it got and streams it got, all that kind of thing? It's really difficult not to look at the numbers and things, especially when you've got sort of management and stuff like that. But I just, obviously it's a cool thing when you see like X amount of people have like listened to your song or whatever, because you just know it's resonated somewhere. But I'd say I'm in a fairly good spot with it now. I think it's a good space to be when you can be like, it's good if it happens, if it doesn't, I'm also happy.
every step I'm taking. Count to 3, don't focus on the way my hands are shaking. I smile when I'm faking. Faces of the strangers on the escalator. Funny how you look for comfort in the strangest places when everything's changing. And now my house feels bigger than it's ever been, 'cause I'm learning how to live without the sound of him. I've always been someone to somebody, now I need a body just to feel I'm not alone for the very first time. 20-something, I should be on fire, trying my best to make it all worthwhile. 20-something, but I'm still a child tonight. Ooh. Walk a little slower through an empty station. Count to 3 and now I'm at another destination. God, I'm so impatient, yeah. And now I'm doing everything to get you off my mind. I'm trying to give it up, but I hate goodbyes. But I don't wanna waste my time. And now my house feels bigger than it's ever been, 'cause I'm learning how to live without the sound of him. I've always been someone to somebody, now I need a body just to feel I'm not alone for the very first time. 20-something, I should be on fire, trying my best to make it all worthwhile. 20-something, but I'm still a child tonight. Oh, oh, oh. And I stay up late to do nothing. I don't wanna get old, and I know patience is one thing. At least that's what I'm told. And now my house feels bigger than it's ever been, 'cause I'm learning how to live without the sound of him. I've always been someone to somebody, now I need a body just to feel I'm not alone for the very first time. 20-something, I should be on fire, I'm trying my best to make it all worthwhile. 20-something, but I'm still a child tonight. Oh, oh, oh. 20-something, but I'm still a child.
The Alpha Sessions.
I'd love to talk more about live stuff. Do you play live a lot? Do you play your own stuff live, or do you tend to do covers gigs and events?
We've not done very many yet, have we? Because it's like, even playing my stuff live is like quite new.
Yeah.
But I do covers gigs. I play with a band.
Nice.
We just travel around everywhere. But yeah, we're going to be doing more gigs, I think, just as a solo artist, and me and you as well, different projects.
What's been your experience of the best live gigs in London? Have you had any disastrous kind of gigs, or is everything to you just like, yeah, it's how it went, that's all it's meant to be?
Don't think I've had anything disastrous. No.
No.
There was a really fun show. There's a bar called Spiritual Bar in Camden. Yeah. Where I went on tour with a friend of mine called Joel Gardner, who's also a really amazing artist, like singer-songwriter. And we did a tour called the Hometowns Tour. So it's basically 4 of us, and we played a show in everybody's hometown. We just rotated the bill, so everyone was headlining their own town. So my hometown show was London, and that was a really good gig. It was like the first time that I'd played a lot of those songs that I'd written in lockdown to anyone. So it was like it was quite a visceral thing, and Spiritual, is like tiny.
Yeah, it's very
intimate.
gig.
Yeah, a really intimate gig,
Yeah.
and everyone's very hushed, and everyone's very focused on what's going on. But it was a really nice vibe. That was probably my favourite gig. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Do you prefer a gig that is intimate, or do you love a big crowd, theoretically? If you could have like thousands of people in front of you, would you choose that over a Spiritual Bar?
Oh, I mean, there's a lot to be said for if the stage was big enough that I could just run around like a mad woman,
Like Florence and the Machine.
Yeah.
Have you seen it before?
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah,
jump about, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Good.
Have you got any live gigs coming up?
We're going to be doing some.
Are they secrets?
We haven't.
They're not official announcements?
Yeah, there's some in the works, but nothing like confirmed at the moment, but we will be doing when we've released. When I've got another song that's coming out in a couple of weeks, and then we've got our first one that's coming out in a couple of months. So I think once we get those out, then we'll be playing live more.
Now, the second song you played for Sangria.
Yes.
Is that the one? Is that about to be released, or is that just a...
Yeah, so that's the next one that I've got coming out as a solo artist, yeah.
And when was this one written? When did it come into creation?
This one was like a couple of years, this is like, 2 years ago, summertime. And it's just about like being really carefree, kind of allowing yourself to daydream a little bit with somebody, yeah.
Do you always write from a personal perspective, or is it more of like a third party?
Yeah, always. I don't know how to write like any other way. If I was writing with another artist when I was co-writing, it was like, it was always from, like, we'd have a chat. So, and some people like want to tell you their whole life story before they've got in through the door, and some people you have to like coax it out of them a little bit. But either way, it would be something that had happened to them or their experience or a subject they wanted to write about. But I'd always do it with I don't know, like your own expression, your own, yeah. I don't know what that thing is, but... Is
it like a different part of your brain when you're writing with or for someone else? Like, it must be hard not to cross over your own emotions and, like, bringing your own stuff into the writing session, which I guess is a good thing because you want your flair to be in it. Yeah. But is it, like, a different part of you, or do they sort of...
Yeah. Do you know... When I was writing for other people for a while, I felt like I had more freedom in some ways because it was like, I'm not going to sing this. So, like, in a way, you can be as kind of honest and as straight up as you want because as long as they're happy with it, whatever, but you're not going to have to sing it. It's a bit when you're like, well, you're putting this out as you, so it's you're a bit more tied to it. So for a while, I felt like I had more freedom. But yeah, I think maybe it is two different sides of your brain, maybe.
Have you ever written a song for someone else and thought, like, damn it, I wish that was mine?
For somebody else?
Yeah, thought, I wish you could just take it with you.
I don't think so, because I just keep them. No, I don't. I've only done that. I've done that once, and I don't think they were going to take it anyway, because it was like on hold for a couple of months. I was like, can I just use it? But nothing that I've released is like that. What I'm going to release is that.
You sip sangria by the window. I'm watching your shadow dance on the wall. My friend said me tomorrow was going to, but I'm skipping everyone that it calls. There's a magic in the way we move. Feel the energy flicker in the dark of the room, and in your vision I'm shimmering like a sunbeam on a swimming pool. Cause you and I, we were born with a fire, running wild on a lost highway. We could drive to the city of angels, but I got a better scene in my head. You and I, we were born to be restless, never had a reason to stay, but I'm hanging on every moment. I can do nothing with you all day. Da 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 da. Spent so long trying to be louder, trying so damn hard to be heard. Now I believe in quiet power, yeah, cause I know you're drinking down every word. Who gave you permission to come along just when I was all good with sleeping all on my own? And I can lose myself in crowded rooms, but it's you I'm looking for. Yeah, cause you and I, we were born with a fire, running wild on a lost highway. We could drive to the city of angels, but I got a better scene in my head. You and I, we were born to be restless, never had a reason to stay, but I'm hanging on every moment. I could do nothing with you all day. Da 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 da. Well, the second it's good, it's always gone. And I don't know where I've been going wrong. The second it's good, it's always gone. But I'll take my chances, hands out in the dark. 'Cause you and I, we were born with a fire, running wild on a lost highway. We could drive to the city of angels, but I got a better scene in my head. You and I, we were born to be restless, never had a reason to stay, but I'm hanging on every moment. I could do nothing with you all day. Da 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 da
The Alpha Sessions.
I think this is a good time to bring Diggs into the conversation. You've been sitting in the corner there, and I just feel like we can't leave you out any longer. So do you write together as, I mean, you're forming a duo. This is a new adventure. And is this something that has changed the way you write, both of you, or do you tend to still write on your own and then just bring things to the duo?
It's kind of a bit of a mix. Like, sometimes G'll have a song that she'll bring in, or sometimes I'll have an idea that comes in, but it's been quite cool just exploring it, because like the single that's coming out later this year, G had the concept of it, and then we were getting ready to go out, and I just had this idea and this top line that I showed her, and then the song just kind of grew. So it's kind of like, it's really nice being able to have a mix of, we can have ideas that we can bring in, but I enjoy more not completing ideas and bring them in. Maybe like lyrically I'll bring something in, or top line, or some chord ideas, but I almost like leaving it like unfinished, because then when we hop on it together, it's like it just sounds super cool. We always get something really vibey that we both really happy with. So
I like the process better as well, I think. If we just work on some, like, it can be anything. Sometimes it will just be like bits of lyric, but there won't be anything to them, or there won't be any arrangement, or you'll have an arrangement at the top line that I like, and then I'll just sort of weave some lyrics into it. So there's not really a set way, is there?
I think we're really good as well, because if there's something like, both of us come from like a really like a songwriting standpoint, so like we really like having a strong songwriting in it. We both kind of, if we have an idea that we like, we can both be like, oh, this is really good. Yeah. So we'll go with that. We have been
honing pigeon.
Yeah, but we've been really good as well. And something that I've really enjoyed is, if I've just thought, oh, this is going to be, it's got to go like this, and then G's been like, oh, I don't really like it. So I'll be, all right, let's do something else. And then this other idea that I didn't hear, I couldn't like imagine it would go to, like, comes out, and I'm like, oh, that's one of the coolest things for me, because it's like, it's bringing something that I would have never thought of doing, and it just like, it fit, and it fits better than what I was going to do. So I was like, that's really exciting.
Yeah, it's good to have more influence that comes in, especially when you just find that person that you just work with so naturally. I mean, I write with my ex-partner, and that tends to, we talked about this on a few interviews.
What's that like?
It's so far it's great, because we've been together for 5 years, so it's like we're best friends, but that dynamic is something that I don't think you can replace. But do you also find that your influences, do you have very different influences that come together and work really well in terms of who you listen to and your favourite artists to see?
We do. Like, I think we come from quite a different parts of the spectrum in terms of like what we listen to, but somehow it just seems to work together. Like, I'm really into like my kind of 60s, 70s songwriters, like storytellers. You got like Carole King and Joni Mitchell, and obviously like Dylan and Stevie Nicks. But you really like your synths and your electronic and your guitars as well, and somehow they just
I would say, I think like I think there's a lot that we do listen to, because I like all that stuff as well. But I think we have like a lot of shared stuff, and then we go up and like we like, not that the project's going to be like this, but we like all drum and bass and dance and stuff. But then I think we do go off in some directions. I'll go off in like jam band world with like Mo and Fish. And then G'll have to rein me in, trying to put in like a 13/8 time signature in something.
I'll let you get We've got a 6/8 one that is like.
So I'm pushing the borders. Hopefully we'll be like a really experimental prog band in about 6 months. So
love it. You're just working your way towards something. You don't even know where it's going yet.
No.
Yeah. It's kind of like,
no barriers.
I don't know what it is, like folktronica maybe you could call
it.
It's like kind of quite melodic top lines, but we like layering different textures and playing with synths. And we do like our live setup, we've got like MPD drums, so one of us will be laying that in, and then one of us will be on guitar, or like somebody will do like dual vocals, like we'll share vocals and do some harms.
So specifically the song you played for us today, Wild Horses,
yeah,
is it called? How was that one created? Who did it start with? What was the initial idea? And also, was this an acoustic version? And it's got other layers? Or?
Yes, it sounds, we've demoed it up at home, and it sounds pretty different.
It's super vibey.
To this version, which will be exciting to come out, but as an acoustic version, we just thought we'd do it acoustic vibes. But I think I was away with my family in Cornwall, and I just had, they've got like a little flamenco guitar there, and I love the sound of those, so I was just obsessively playing it the whole time I was there. And I came up with the like chord progression, and then just figured out some of the top line, and just this kind of bed of lyrics that I had. And I think I sent it to you on WhatsApp, because we were sending ideas like back and forth while I was away. I think I sent it to you, and then you were like, oh, this is cool, we should definitely do something with it. And then got home and we demoed it up, and you laid in a lot of the textures, and kind of Diggs is really good at like chord colouring, so my sort of understanding of guitar or piano is quite like I do it enough that to play on, but you colour things in a really beautiful way. So I think it sounds a lot more interesting than it did when I brought it. But yeah, the idea happened in Cornwall, I guess.
Yeah. G got the amazing sketch. It was just a case of
filling in the gaps.
Yeah.
Who does the production?
We both
we,
do, don't we?
Yeah, joint, which is cool.
That's nice.
Yeah. It's really cool. We've like, we'll smash on. It's nice as well, because we'll just be eating some food. We'll smash on some mix with the masters or something, and like G's like super absorbent to like really like key information. So she'll pick some stuff up, and we'll go try it in the production. So it's been nice as well, because we've both got like a good grasp of like compression, EQ and stuff. It's also been nice just to see. I think mixings, the production and mixings, is quite like obviously an extension of like what you're hearing. So things kind of come together quite naturally, which is really cool.
We seem to kind of go for similar kind of sounds as well. It's like, you know, when you're just demoing something up and you're putting different layers in and things, and you kind of figure out what something's missing. It's kind of like cooking. It's like something's missing a spice or whatever. Yeah. We seem to always like go to quite similar things.
Seasoning.
Do you have the same thing with?
Yeah, pretty much. It's a nice balance to have. Like when you're sort of both interjecting, but in the same headspace. Because I think some people work together and they find they clash a lot, and then like somebody will have an idea and they'll be like, "That's just not what it needs."
Yeah. But like, where do you go from that? Because it's just tastes, really.
It's like one of you has to compromise. And it gets a bit difficult. Yeah.
Get something that nobody's happy with.
Yeah. I wrote down for this one that you reminded me of Lord.
Big. Yeah,
a little bit of
my heart.
Now these, I don't know how you feel about these, but I made a little list of, and I always do this when I hear like the tone and the vibrato. I don't know what it is about people's vibrato that I always hear like a specific influence. But I wrote down Ellie Goulding, which I haven't heard in a long time. I haven't listened to in a long time, but there's something in there. A little bit of Ella Henderson as well.
Amazing.
And Zara Larsson, and that's like a husky thing. And then I wrote Tom Walker, but I can't remember why.
Thanks.
I don't know.
They're all, Lord is like one of my heroes.
Oh, really?
She's like, every time I write something lyrically, like that's kind of my gold standard. Like she's so descriptive with everything. Like all of her songs, I know what the weather's like. I know what the humidity's like. I know, like, she's amazing. Love her. I've had all those ones before from different people, apart from Tom Walker.
Yeah, I think that was more of a writing. I don't know, actually.
Do you know what it probably is? It's probably because I've got a song called "Leave a Light On," which is on YouTube, and that is also a Tom Walker song, I think.
Maybe.
So maybe just, I don't know, subliminally, or...
Yeah, maybe. There's something there. I don't know.
Thank you, though.
But yeah, I don't know how you feel about that.
Good.
Take it.
Yeah,
run with it.
That's very kind. Thank you.
So in terms of Wild Horses as a release, how are you going to do the whole the release process as a duo? Because now you've done it before as an indie artist or a solo artist.
Yeah.
Do you feel like having another person to manage all the release stuff with is going to make things easier, or a little bit more complicated, like the social media and the visuals and promotion?
I mean, in some ways it's like having someone to take someone like the weight off is what you imagine as being big, really helpful, but I think we're probably just going to embrace the DIY side of things, aren't we? Because I think the more direct you can be with like people that listen to your stuff, the more control you have, the more like, I don't know, I think it just like probably deepens that relationship as well, because you know what people are asking for, like what people are enjoying, what people are resonating with, rather than someone telling you with a different set of motives, probably like different set of interests, what you should be doing. We've actually got a song coming out before that, which is a different track, so that'll probably be our second one. Wild Horses. But we've definitely found the limits with it, because we've promo stuff before. Both of us are very, if we can do something, we're gonna do it, but then sometimes we can forget that like there's time and energy and their resources, so we've kind of like, through the bit of experience that we've had, kind of fine-tuned like the schedule of when we'll work and when we'll cut off, but also like with the promo, merging with like TikTok and stuff, finding a way that we're happy with promoting it, so that, no disrespect to people that do this, but we're not in a hallway like dancing to a tune, because that's not really, that's just not our vibe. So like finding ways to like promote on social media in a way that we like, and then also be able to promote the track as well as we can do, whilst also having some calm. We have a tendency, we have these little, like, we'll go for a meal or something, I'm just going to sit down and get the calendar out, and we'll sort of chunk out days, and sometimes our days are literally planned by hour what we're doing. It's like so organised, and then we forget that we can't do like 2 months worth of work in 2 weeks.
So,
we realise this halfway down, like, whose idea is this? Who suggested this? Why are we exhausted? Like,
we've got 7 18-hour days in a row.
That's not ideal, but confidence is key. If you tell yourself that you can do it, you'll get a lot done, won't you?
There you go. Yeah, at least we can ease off.
We're quite good, I think. In general, we're organised, nothing else.
Yeah, that's what we like. And your duo name, is that a...
Harland Wolfe.
Harland Wolfe.
Yeah.
So look out, everybody listening or watching, look out for Harland Wolfe and for Gigi. We've got a lot coming up, and I'm very excited to hear it all coming out. So thanks for coming on the show. Where can we find you if we want to find you on social media and anywhere else? Where are you most active?
Yeah, so that would be Instagram and TikTok for me, which is Gigi Harland, and then Harland Wolfe is also on Insta, and probably will be on TikTok and everywhere else.
Amazing. Well, good luck with everything.
Thank
We're
you.
going to have you back on. I can feel it. This is just the beginning.
Thanks.
This is just one of many.
Thanks for having us this time.
Thank you for
appreciate
coming
it.
on.
Thank you very much.
1, 2. Give me one night under your skies. Heavy heat rising, but I sleep under lightning and watch you rise. You're out in the desert, Jericho Rose. Roots with no water, so you grew up stronger. That's all you know. When you tell me you've been drifting and I'm not listening, God, it breaks me, oh, 'cause you could be 10 miles under the sea. I know where you'd be if I needed you. Wild horses couldn't stop me, couldn't hold back this truth. Breaking loose and running so free, like the wild ones always do. So don't try to protect me to make your love last. Get it out in the open, get it off your chest. I can't take it if you're lonely, being somebody sun and stars. I dance around you, but you know I bloom for you in the dark. And I'm never too busy. You're never too much, never too much. Don't need to move mountains for me just to make your mark. But when you tell me, you've been drifting, and I'm not listening, God, it breaks me, oh, 'cause you could be 10 miles under the sea. I know where you be if I needed you. Wild horses couldn't stop me, couldn't hold back this truth. Breaking loose and running so free, like the wild ones always do. So don't try to protect me to make your love last. Get it out in the open, get it off your chest. I can't take it if you're lonely, being somebody I love. Oh, 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 oh. Somebody, somebody, somebody I love. Somebody, somebody, somebody I love. Don't let it be lost on you, yeah. Somebody, somebody, somebody I love. Don't let it be, don't let it be, yeah. Oh, somebody, somebody, somebody I love. Ooh, yeah. Somebody, somebody, somebody I love. Ooh, somebody, somebody, somebody I love.